Knew it would happen and we told you. We told you. We told you. We knew it would happen and we told you. We told you. We told you. We knew it would happen and we told you. We told you. We told you. We knew it would happen and we told you. We told you. We told you. We knew it would happen and we told you. We told you. We told you. We knew it would happen and we told you. We told you. We told you. I told my boss I put my 2 weeks on feeling bullish. Never coming back, I got gains, I'm doing it, I'm through with this. I started saving up and I started getting bags, now I'm stupid rich, I'm stupid rich. CNBC, CNN said we hooligans. Who was them? Another party on the moon again. It was closer than sooner than. I'm sorry that you missed it, I'm sorry that you missed it. James Rule got a shirt and it says I told you so. I didn't mean to say.
Coffee time with Berserker and Uncle Buster. Doors open. Good to see you. You know where the coffee pot is.
This is Berserker.
Yo, this is Uncle Buster. Get a cup. Let's talk crypto.
Yeah, dude. This coffee's bomb.
Nothing comes between me and my XRP. All in.
Welcome aboard.
Yo.
It's coffee time. Let's run it. A live community chat.
Coffee.
Fill it up. A live community chat. We talk crypto, we talk red pill, we talk whatever. And you can join too. Let's go. Welcome aboard. Let me go ahead and turn it down a little bit. We had a background malfunction too. Where the fuck is my background? Oh, there it is. Let's go. We got Bagman on deck. Run it. Thank you for a extra bullish hour, Bagman. What's up? We got Nerdy. He's fucking doing something. He's doing laundry or something. About to pop on here in a sec. Shout out to everyone. We love you. Let's see what we got in the chat. Hey, Blue Crew, mount up. There's some fucking scammers in the chat. That bitch. I have a quick question. I have an OKX wallet with 14 or $1,004 USDT.
Delete
I have
it.
12 C-frames. Yeah, that's a fucking cut her fucking head off, Blue Crew. Let's go. That's not real. That's a fucking scam.
We get those every after every show. That's those messages come up, man, because they don't like us. They don't like you.
They don't like us. Yeah. We got stuff in bags in the background by Bagman. Thank you for all the music throughout the years, Bags. Shout out. Let's see. We also got
No victim zone. We're doing crypto
no
consciousness. Let's run it.
Ooh-wee. Pump it up. Mojo, what's up? Fuck yeah. Thank you. Absolutely. Thank you, Mojo. Without you, we'd be just talking to ourselves. Like, what the fuck? You know? Tim Shea. What's up, Pim? What's up, Nerdy?
What's up, man?
Yep. Island Ghost, thanks for telling everybody. Yeah, usually we delay a little bit because we're on the extra bullish hour. So shout out Island Ghost. Thank you. Yep. We got Bradley Sirencion. Yo, what's up, Pim?
Island Ghost. Thank you for being the sound Nazi on Zerk earlier. We appreciate that. Zerk needs to get it every once in a while, you know.
Yeah. That's correct. That is correct.
I was about to tell him to unplug all his shit. Unplug it all. Reboot your computer.
It's like, and that reminds me of, what is it, Forrest Gump, where the guy's like unplugging all the shit when he's doing a speech. Fucking great fucking speech. Yep.
Oh, man.
Here we
Forrest
go.
Gump, man.
Nelson, XRP Nelson. Ooh. Let's go.
I love my Jenny.
Hello,
Me and Jenny
man.
like peas
Bro,
and carrots.
There's a lot of like satanic symbolism in that movie too. That's so fucking, dude. If only the sheep
Forrest
knew,
Gump.
dude. Yeah, if only the sheep knew. Let's run it. Let's go, Island Ghost. What's up, boys? What's up, Fuma?
Oh,
Howdy.
talking about what me and Fuma were talking about before we hopped on there. Did you hear about Anthropic, the Anthropic CEO? The Anthropic CEO was asked if he knows how his language model works, and he said no.
Damn.
A lot of these AI companies are just ChatGPT rappers. That's all there is.
That's what they brought up at Hackspace. One of the keynote speakers was like, everyone's talking as AI. The truth is, you're just piling shit on it. He said this at the Hackspace Con 2025 in Cape Canaveral. I was like, oh shit. He said it like in front of a panel of people who didn't know their ass from their elbow.
Bro, they're really running with their like advertisement too. They're like, in an AI world, we're gonna be doing, even though they're stealing the same shit and just.
That's all it is.
Shout out lower level.
Yeah, I think the battle is already fought though, man. I think the spiritual warfare already determined if AI is good or bad, and it's already determined. You know what they're gonna use AI for. So I think we're going in good times, man.
Fuck yeah. Halifax, pre-rich ducks and good glitches. What's up, pimp? Fuck yeah.
We
Even that chick there's a Facebook girl. Yeah, she comes through, but she always asks AI questions about, ascension and all that. Dude, the AI is spitting fire to this girl. I'm like, there'll be like 4 minutes. I'm like, hey, I don't know who programmed that motherfucker, but spot on, like of your deep beliefs. And they'll go, yeah. I mean, I've thought about sharing her because I save her shit on my when she pops up. I've saved a few videos, but I'm like, there's no way that's for the bad right there, because AI is just spitting fire to him, and she's just having a conversation.
But the crazy part about that situation is that even though the language model is giving her all this information, she's just listening to it. She's not even using it. She's not even trying to fancy of comprehending the information. She's just blown away that it's giving her a response that's different from her own. It's crazy. Yeah,
Island Ghost on them Coors Lights already. Let's go.
Hell yeah, let's go.
Damn, that's fast.
Damn, hey, it's like, she's East Coast though, man. She's East Coast, but
yeah,
drinking that piss beer.
A Rocky Mountain piss. Yeah, let's go. Ooh-wee. We got Richard Gilliam.
That makes you think like
Panama.
Ooh. That's why I don't believe this is the first time AI's been around.
Oh no, it's been around since the 60s or 70s.
No. I think AIs. I think they've went through dimensions like even on Earth where we've got to the point to fucking go with AI. You know what I'm saying? This ain't the first time AI in how many years has Earth been around that it's been deployed. I think it's just a certain times where.
Yep.
How do we not know that the old world already came to this conclusion, but it just killed them because it wasn't. They couldn't control like it was a positive rather than being a negative.
Exactly.
Fucking Jeffrey Dahmer. Shout out to Jared Doherty out of Down Under. This is international, guys. Everybody's everywhere. They're in fucking Panama, fucking Australia, fucking New Zealand, fucking everywhere.
And what do we call that? Monkey and potatoes.
Monkey potatoes. Let's wash the potatoes without knowing that we were shown etherically. Yeah, let's wash
We're all
them.
seashells. We're connected to the ether.
Ooh, it's like they did that symbolism in fucking Avatar, where all the trees are connected by the root system and shit. Yeah.
Well, we're all radios, so basically, when you put out a signal, we're all basically on the same station.
You know what I'm gonna say?
We're just on
your radio
station right now. That's the problem.
Fucked up station.
On a dumbass.
Fix that shit.
Fucks.
Fix that shit.
They don't even know what's going on. That's what's sad. You're like, dude.
The more stations that come online, the more that the old timeline doesn't even matter anymore. We're just going to project our own new timeline.
And they're trying to make this fake ass ether with all their cell towers and all this shit. If you look how they place the cell towers and all like the 6-7G and the tera waves and all that shit, they're basically trying to mimic an ether and trying to basically keep us in a state of low vibration. Really.
It's the Tartarian natural grid, the flower of life, grid. They're fucking duplicating that.
Yeah. They're trying to keep us away. They're trying to keep us away from the mountains, and they're trying to keep us away from bells.
Well, it's what fucking what's his fuck? Not just the mountains and the bells and the temples and the spires. what's his fuck in modern day
Mm-hmm.
ish is Tesla, fucking Nikola Tesla, bro. He talked about the same ether. That's why he invented all the fucking the motors and the fucking generators and
Yeah.
the, you know what I mean?
Have you looked into the Byzantine Empire and how the Byzantine Empire was basically like the first? I believe it was the authentic Christian people, and
That's where I think. Oh, God.
they were saying on all of Iran and all of that area, there used to be a whole bunch of churches, and they used to, and when you were walking up the mountain or walking through that region, you would just hear bells. You would just hear bells just ringing through all the mountains and stuff. But they destroyed everything, and that's what goes into your whole, Islamic versus Christian empire and the Crusades and all that other bullshit. But basically, it comes to that conclusion that, hey, you know what once was destroyed to keep us on a lower vibration state.
Bro, Evan knows, dude. Y'all spitting truth today. It's a good day.
You guys are
Today
talking
was a
about
good day.
flat Earth, but have you guys heard about the no real trees on flat Earth?
Oh shit.
What
No,
is
bro.
this?
What are the trees?
Run
The
it.
real
What?
the real trees, all the real trees have already been cutting down, like the big massive trees, like some of the
Yeah.
mountain tops
Oh.
have been shaved off, look like tree trunks and shit.
Yep.
So
Mhm.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
That'd
I've
be
heard,
insane,
I've heard of
bro.
that.
it's called
But
no
then,
real
like, when-
trees on flat Earth.
Yeah, that goes into
Holy moly. We got
Johnny and the
little-
Beanstalk, right? The Johnny and the Beanstalk.
That's what I was thinking.
Child
of. Yeah,
theory of how the trees went into the heavens, but there actually were trees in the heavens.
That's crazy.
Oh,
But if
fuck.
like even Tesla, like he had some hidden knowledge that we don't have now, right? If he could figure all that shit out then, and that's why we don't even know if the Earth's flat. But like, if I go back 20 years ago, I wouldn't fuck with even thinking the Earth could be flat. I'd be like, man, you guys,
What
that
the
was like
fuck?
what, conspiracy. Like that's easy way to Conspiracyville. But then once you're in Conspiracyville, like, I don't think I
Yeah.
know anything at this
And
point.
you can't.
I'm
the
here.
crazy part
Right.
is you can't deny this theory is because of the great floods and how the floods were supposedly to destroy the giants, but in all reality, the giants were actually trying to save us. And if you look at the Great Walls of China, they're facing the wrong direction, and that goes into Islamic, and their beliefs of Moog and the Jug and Moog and Oog or something like that. I forgot the names, but basically that goes into the battle of David and Goliath and how we fought giants and shit like that. So it's like, what is the real truth and what were we really fighting? And I believe that goes into the giants were actually maybe helping us to fight the demons, and they destroyed it because it was our greatest adversary. Who knows? But you can literally you can see giant, like massive snake mountains and things shaped in like different, horses and elephants or whatever. And even if you cut into the rock, it looks like meat. It doesn't even look like, it looks like petrified meat. It doesn't even look like rock or trees or anything like that.
Do you remember that PDF I sent you about like all of those historical events, like the flood or whatever? That there's astrologers that like mainly Chinese astrologers, but there's a planet that comes into our orbit that aligns with all those events in history, like the
Yeah.
Great Flood and all that shit.
Nibiru.
It's
That's
basically like the planet freaking curing itself or getting rid of all the junk, basically.
Yeah, that's the third sun. That's the bigger sun that's orbiting. And that's exactly what we've been taught about the three suns. There's a bigger sun that has a mini sun, the dog star or whatever, Sirius A and B, and then you have Nibiru, Planet X, and then basically it has a cycle, and through these cycles, like it alters the frequency of the planet where things can start being unveiled, and that's what they got rid of all the bells and shit, because we're actually being controlled by demons that are actually like legit demons who are actually on this planet. It's not some mythical, whatever story. It's real shit. Like it's an actual real war that we're really facing, and that's why everyone in every religious text is telling you to pick up a sword and fight, because it's a legit fucking battle that's been going down for ages.
Bro, Monkey Business says
That's
the
why
bell,
also it's
the bell stopped because Quasimodo died.
that's why it's like different. What is it? Different levels.
Disney programming.
different devils or whatever they say. But
Mm-hmm.
because I think they try to get us not to go through anything. Like everyone's avoiding, when pain hits. Because I've done it, bro. I've tried to, go back to the past or whatever you're doing to fucking get out of the cycle. But I also think when you overcome an energy, you overcame it. So that energy could come back in a different body, and you'll just see it right away because your discernment's rising. And then I think the energy side alone, though, makes it different. That's why I think even the Bible, all that, I think someone could read the Bible and just think 3-dimensional and they're missing hella shit. But then when you do what we see, plus the energy side's another dimension, plus the spiritual side is another dimension. Now everything, because I always looked into psychology in those 3 ways: spiritual, energy, and then for us it's words. You know. But
damn, Jeff, we cut where they cut before the flood, so nothing could escape the big trees. That's crazy, bro. Welcome aboard, Liston. Let's fucking go, Mojo. Let's go. Fuck yeah.
Here goes one of them.
Oh shit, run it. Run that shit.
From it's called Devil's Tower.
The baby gates are open, guys.
Yeah, right there.
Boom.
That's the one. Crazy, bro.
That's fucking. That's Close Encounters of the Third Kind. That's the mountain in that movie with Richard Dreyfuss. That's the same mountain.
So our trees are bushes. What we call trees is a bush.
They're bush. Exactly.
Little ass bush, like a rose.
No real trees on flat Earth.
Yep.
Damn,
son. That's that Richard Dreyfuss shit. I wonder what we should watch that and fucking look at all the symbolism in it. I bet you there's a shit ton. He like recreates it. He's like dreaming about it, and he recreates it with a fork and a pile of mashed potatoes and shit. It's fucking crazy.
When you go to the consciousness side, though, that's where as we elevate, like if somebody's in crypto, they're more conscious than the people that don't get it, right? And you don't have to explain it to them because that level of frequency has the understanding.
Yeah.
Right? So all we could do is keep pushing people up higher and higher because there is a consciousness that I'm not going to understand. I'd be like, oh shit. But I think even like if we die and we go to wherever, we're just going to have an understanding. No one's going to be like, hey, what happened, Buster, is you fucking died. And we're just going to have the knowing, right?
Yeah.
But right now our consciousness is so fucking low as a collective that you just watch it. You just go outside. You're like, dude, these people are. Someone could just run their mouth and people react like a bunch of clowns. You guys are fucking idiots, bro. I could go up and say anything to you and ruin your whole fucking day.
Yeah,
with a word, you know. And you're like,
I believe that ties into the Christ consciousness of how the battle is within our minds, and they're trying to basically control the perspective of your mind, right? Because what you perceive is what you believe. Or what you believe is what you perceive. So if you have these visions of being anti-God or anti-religion or atheist or whatever, and you just don't care, then you're basically lost, and you're basically a free soul to hijack or do whatever. And then that's just added to that, and that's why they say to follow whatever, read the scriptures or whatever. It's basically reminding you, hey, you are this warrior. You have to fight this battle. These are the hymns to keep you going, to fight all these battles within your heart and your mind. I live within your heart. I will always be with you. But it's to you to control your mind, and that's where the devil has to be welcomed in, right? Because you have to have that perspective to welcome that kind of thoughts in your mind, rather than those just being possessed by them.
Bro,
it's
dinosaurs. Bro, the dinosaurs are bullshit. Explanation for all the large human bones that were being excavated.
I agree. I think that's true.
Giants, bro. Yep.
Because there's more large human bones than there are, dino bones or whatever, fossil fuels, where we get our oil, because oil is limited. It's a fucking natural resource. The stupidest fucking thing. They told us that it comes from fucking dinosaurs. Fucking stupid. The stupidest fucking thing ever.
People believe it. Hold on. When have you ever been able to take a bone and extract something that is a liquid? I mean,
it's the most retarded fucking thing lie they've ever told people. Like, okay, yep, that makes sense. It's like,
boom.
What? No one doesn't. What the hell? This is crazy.
You can't take a plant, chop it up, and it becomes a liquid.
Bro, Evan says the world Mars that Elon talks about is another flat plane outside of our world. Mars under another dome, just a hop, skipping away. What the fuck ever? Like, okay, that's cool, but like, let's fucking start talking about how NASA's bullshit, and let's get to the rudimentary fucking concepts that they're lying to us about, and they continue to lie to us about. Drill, baby, drill. What the fuck? Just give us all a Tesla generator. Fuck drilling. Like, yeah, sure, oil's needed in this world, but like, there's other shit going on that's like, come on, we need to fix that shit. Who gives a fuck about Mars? Let's start fixing our own shit.
Right.
The fuck? You know. But shout out, Evan. Shout out. We got Norseman on. What's up, pimp?
What's up, Norse? We missed you at the moon party, bro.
Fellas. What's
Yo.
new? What's happening? What's good?
Boop.
What's up, pimp? Where you been, dude?
Fucking booped you.
Oh, man. Working, man. Trying to build my company and bow hunting turkey.
Oh wow, how's that going?
So I went yesterday, had all my decoys out.
Mhm.
I'm in a nice hollow, and the rain broke. Sun was starting to come out, and I heard two gobblers and a couple of hens about 100 yards away. And what I forget, my fucking callers, man. So I just sat there for about 4 hours. They didn't come along, but I'm gonna go back out and hopefully get one. So, but yeah, just living, doing my thing.
Nice.
You still memeing?
Oh hell yeah! Oh hell yeah! Yeah, definitely memeing. And
You got
so
any
what do you
Uga?
guys? Let me just touch base with you guys. What do you think XRP? What's your realistic price prediction?
30 mil.
Oh, come on, man! Come
Oh,
on, man!
Money.
I ain't
30
playing.
mil.
I ain't fucking playing. I mean,
I would
for
say
real.
first chunk pop, a couple $100.
This bull run, you think it's going to hit 100 bucks?
I don't
No,
think
the
bull
bull
run. I
run?
don't think the term bull run exists. I think it's going to change fundamentally overnight. So
Wow.
you could call it a fucking bull run, but I would say a couple $100. But I believe in the ramp up, like Buster's
Utility
talking
run?
about.
Utility
It'll be-
run.
I say-
In other words,
It's a lot
bull
of
run
fun.
implies that we're going to have a bear run, a bear
Mhm.
cycle. We're not. This is going to change the world. We're never coming back. So
So
this
it's
is
not a
it.
bull, it's a utility run then.
It's
Yep.
fuck. There you go.
And we'll
Yeah.
hit
Mhm.
that we're at 240 right now, 238.72. I believe we have to pass 3. We have to pass 280. We haven't fucking passed that bitch yet. We have to pass 280. Pass
I thought
280.
Didn't it get up to 3 on this a couple?
Yeah, but it doesn't
months
count.
ago?
It doesn't count. We have to stay there. You can't just go.
Got
up
all right.
They don't
Gotcha.
count.
Yeah.
So we have to get past 280, stay at 3. Once we get at 3, 6 is the next one. Once we get
Okay.
to 6, we become number 2. People start to panic, and then from around 6, 7, we could probably go around maybe to 13, 15, around that area, and that's where Bitcoin goes.
I think this bull run, I think it's gonna get past Ethereum on the market cap. That's just my own thought.
Mhm.
I'll tell you this. So, me being the meme guy, and XRP's never had memes. And if this goes the way that you guys are saying, some of these meme coins are gonna fucking go through the roof.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not. I mean, look what Sheep did. Basically on the Ethereum blockchain, Solana blockchain, now Base blockchain. You know what I mean? And this is all. It's going to be interesting. I stacked up on XRP, Army, and Phoenix. Or what I think those two are going to fucking do amazing.
Norseman. I didn't know you were such a gamer. I love you, man.
Norse, I'm way past the whole like meme fight, utility versus meme. I believe everything's gonna go out of control.
Oh, it is. It is.
Yeah.
So it is. It is. If without a doubt, it's going to definitely. If you hold anything in the top 100 listings of market cap, you're going to come out okay. But meme coins are. Trust me. And again, they're fucking stupid as shit. They're just ridiculous. But I think with the whole Phoenix Rising, the narrative, the community seems really good. The X page are constantly doing it's a real good community narrative. It's going to pop. I think people are going to jump on it. I think people are going to see what's going to happen. You're going to have your long-term holders like us that have held on. You're going to have your midterm players, and then these new people are going to say, "Oh shit, well, I can't buy XRP because it's fucking $50 or $100. I'm going to buy some, Phoenix or XRP Army. And I'm telling you, and then you're going to see these some of your long-term holders that are anti-meme. You're going to see what's happening, and then you're going to get a dump in more money into that, those memes through the long-term holders. That's my own.
Norseman, I totally agree with you. I've been saying that for years. That's why I jumped in with Bagman and the videos and the memes years ago. I love the memes. We're part of the Ooga community, but I hold Phoenix, I hold Army, and I would rather hold a meme. To be honest, I probably hold more meme tokens or just tokenized assets, if you want to call them that.
Right on.
Than I do XRP right now, because I think you just nailed it, man. That's where it's going to be.
It's going to happen. It's happened with all the other blockchains, guys. It's like, is it going to stop? Honestly, I don't think it is. Like, we haven't had any change. Yes. Are we going to go to utility driven? Absolutely. There's going to be, your XRP. There's going to be Say. There's going to be Sui. These ones are really ripping it. And again, as much as I hate Bitcoin, I still think it's going to be the daddy for a while.
You guys holding any of that Bluminati?
Yeah, man.
Ultima mind, soul, and body.
No Bluminati, but I'll look into it.
The Bluminati is a tokenized community for the Blue Crew.
Yeah, I mean, who started that? Who's the dev of that?
Uncle Buster, Bagman, the Blue Crew, all of us.
Wait, when did you guys start this? When did this start?
Shit, I think it launched in, I want to say December.
Where the fuck was I?
Early December.
Where the fuck were you? That's a really good question.
You're hunting turkey. You're hunting turkeys.
You're hunting phoenixes instead of freaking working with the crew.
You were in the blind hunting turkeys.
For real. That's funny. I gotta do like a clip of that shit or something and have like XRP or Phoenix or something. But yeah, man, I really think that's gonna happen. I bought Brett on base. I think that's gonna do really well. There's a couple others too that are out there. Nero, which I think it's another Ethereum dog coin, but I think Shiba Inu, like your old meme coins, I think Doge will do okay, but like Shiba Inu and those other ones aren't going to do shit. They're not going to do that great, So
yeah, but do you have some Ooga Booga in Bluminati? Because we're the Blue
Ooga Booga. What the hell? Bluga.
Tell him,
tell him, Ooga.
You tell him, Oogie. You fucking
tell him what's up, man. Norsemen don't know.
The hell?
They
Don't
need to
know King Ooga?
Norse needs to know. Welcome to the jungle, Norse.
That's
tell him one more time, Ooga.
I'm being gang stalked by the CIA. They put a chip in my brain.
Why does that remind me of
We are
Bishop. What's up, my brother? What's up?
Bishop, what up, pimp?
Hey, Bishop.
Hey, we got a little battle, and it seems like we're still getting consciousness comments. And we got Bishop. Bishop wants to turn this to consciousness, bro.
More.
Bishop got on here. He's ready. He's
chomping
sauce at the bits. What's up, pimp?
This is what you got. Yeah, I know you got some super sauce.
No.
Enlighten us.
Super saucer.
I was definitely enjoying that talk because Buster, you're right on, man. A lot of the stuff that I was trying to get you to read, you kind of got there on your own, and I was a little shocked by it. I was like, whoa. I said, did he read it? And then you said no, and I was like, geez, he's already gotten there. But there's a couple of sections about it. Everything you talked about his energy harvesting. There's a couple of sections that talks about that. One of the things I wanted to point out, we were talking about, I think Nerdy said something about AI. We were talking about evolution. And there's a story of course, the Tower of Babel. We all know the Tower of Babel story in the Bible. The one problem that we all seem to have, and we're looking at that particular story through the lens of our own arrogance. We as human beings at this time, we believe we are the most advanced beings that has ever lived. But and increasingly over the years, it is becoming hard for us to even we realized that there were technologies before us. I mean, we had the pyramids themselves stand as a testament to something was going on that we don't know about. But you have cities like Pumapunku, you got Baalbek, even the Sumerians. They were telling tales of technology long before then. And so when we look at the Tower of Babel, we actually we take it literally and look at it through the lens of our own arrogance, saying it was actually a tower that they were building towards heaven. But it doesn't necessarily mean that it was actually a physical tower. It could have been a mental tower, even a technology that they were building that God had to break them up from because they were reaching them. So this technology existed. It's quite clear now. There's something that went on that we don't know about.
For sure. And like the cell phone, man, alone is like dumbing us down. You know, we're not what we think we are. But yeah, a lot of my shit is like personal experience because I've been around like energy vampires and the poor me's, and it's like, and they're drawing your emotion. You're like, holy shit, it doesn't end. But one thing with me is or you could feel something, you say something to somebody, and then what they do, they gaslight you. Like that's like gatekeeping, you know. They're gaslighting, whether you know consciously, subconsciously what you're doing. That's like the other side shit. You're on the different side of me. If you're going against my intuition, you know, and that's why the people that are sending are in their truth, right? If you're holding on to like lies, secrets is, it's all gonna be turned against you in the long run, right? You could be cool with a little group, secret societies using their power and secret, what is it called when you have a common, when you're a secret society, you're like a
cult.
What's the word I'm looking for?
Cult.
Pretty much a cult, but they have a secret binding like mission statement that they all believe in. But if you get close to it, then they start looking like dummies because they're not going to admit anything, right? And you're like, damn, all three of you motherfuckers agree because you sound like fucking idiots, right?
Yeah.
And then you know, and then you're gonna get attacked if you're around any of that. So smear campaigns, whatever, like.
But
I don't even talk shit about people.
But that's what
it's
they
all good.
I was just going to comment on what you're saying, and that is what they have to do, and they being the energy vampires, they have to do that in order to maintain the control. It's the people that become conscious of the action of that energy vampire. They start to remove that control from them, so they scramble to get that control back by gaslighting you, by doing other things like that. But that's how it's the lazy way of advancing. I can borrow. Why go through the pain and energy to grow when I could use your energy to grow?
I see it as different levels, though. The people that are doing that are the lower level on that side, right? They might not know they're getting used, but that's where the MK Ultra, right? They've been trained like that because there's people above them that are using them, right?
Exactly.
And then it's a tier system, right?
Well, the funny thing about this
but they are higher
conversation,
level, but to the negative side. I hate to use word negative and
yeah,
positive.
the dark side.
But they're higher level beings on that side of the fence. They are not. They're not lower level frequency. They're higher level, but darker.
Yeah.
So those beings are not unintelligent.
No,
so
they're more
doing
intelligent.
The same thing. They're doing the exact same thing. They're robbing energy to advance, but they believe that that's the way they should be advancing. And so they get to a point. If you ever get around to read this book, it's pretty good at explaining this. But they get to a point where they realize they can't advance anymore like that. They can't keep robbing energy to go a certain way. They need other people to help them, and then they switch sides.
And that's where also. I think they understand the karma side of things too, because our natural instinct is to get on our emotion, go whoop somebody's ass. But all that is protecting them from karma, right? Because if you just let it be, that's why I think God says, like, you know, don't take shit into your own hands, right? Because when you go quiet and let the ethers deal with it, then their karma kicks in. But when you go take shit into your own hands, you're actually clearing the karma for them. right, on the physical. And I think there's a lot of plays, but
So,
average
in
Joe
order
Blow,
to control,
Go ahead, Lizard.
can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear what I'm saying?
yeah.
In order to control the amount of loose, you have to control your emotions, right? And that's why I play golf, because every time's a bad shot, and how you react to that is right on target with what we're talking about. If you can control that loose, right, you don't give them that satisfaction of getting soft when you hit a bad shot. No place else can you go for like 3 or 4 hours and exercise that muscle than playing fucking golf. That's just me. That's what I do. Because that motherfucker, like, well, I'm not saying that. I'm saying it works for me, right? Because I got a lot of fucking horsepower in that muscle, right? So I've had to learn over the whole lifetime to control anger issues, right? So, I mean,
look at some of the top athletes.
Exercise.
Yeah, I was
Look
going to
at
say
some.
something real quick before Bishop goes.
Go ahead.
Because this is related to what Bishop was saying. If you look at all Tartarians and all like Byzantine style Christianity, they have this chart which is basically it's flat and then there's a dome on top of them, and there's a spiritual person wearing a robe that's trying to escape this, right? There's literally paintings of that happening. So this goes into, I read someone's comment earlier that said that someone said that there was a multi-level system in the book of Enoch or something like that. I think that's what it really comes down to, is that there is levels to this, and that goes back again to the ocean argument of we do have a physical ocean that is way more dense than the water is that we have, and we can't go below it. So there is actually levels to this, right? And how do we not know is that within those levels there is a spiritual war on each plane. The higher you go, you're closer home, versus if you get sucked into drug consumption, alcoholism, or any kind of these things, you're basically alcohol, the name itself, you're basically drinking spirits, and you're dumbing down your frequency itself, right? So I think what it really comes down to is intelligence raises your frequency and your vibration, which allows you to enter denser dimensions because you press more because of frequency and how it travels.
And you I like what you just said, because there was a couple of cases of a woman that had a psychic ability. She said she was pretty accurate. She said she could hear stuff, hear people talking to her, and then she was getting information. But then they said that she was having some kind of psychological problem. They started putting her on medications, and she said all of a sudden everything had gone quiet. She couldn't hear anymore, but as soon as she was off of it, she was back to being accurate again. And I've heard this story many, many times, how the drugs separate us from our consciousness enough that we even believe that we're in the dream world. I've had some family members that had the same experience. You can do it anytime you take drugs. You feel like you're on this different dimension, kind of this feeling. Some open your mind, some close your mind, and that is the truth of it all. But going back to this whole thing of controlling your emotions, just think about some of the top athletes that become really good at their game. They all call it the flow, and what it is that they become into this really calm state of mind during all that chaos. And at that point, they can see everything. They see the motions of people's bodies. They know they can predict where the next thing is going to go. And you've heard Michael Jordan talk about it. You've heard Tiger Woods talk about it. Anybody's that experienced that can understand that feeling. And it only comes about when you control your emotions and not let the event control your emotion.
Yeah. That has a lot to come with humility too, right? Of understanding yourself of, okay, I reacted badly in this situation and how can I correct it? But that comes with awareness, humility, putting down your ego, and all of these are intellectual higher power qualities that you have to possess.
Sure, ego's a big one.
But in order to possess them, you have to go through pain in order to come to that realization.
That is correct. I agree with you 100%. That ego is the thing that the ego tries to stay itself alive. It does its job. It's trying to keep us alive. It tells us that we're right no matter what. Even when other people tell you something is wrong, you go, no, I'm right, you're wrong. When you start questioning the whole entire world, this is one thing that never made sense to me. They were like, well, everybody's wrong and I'm right. Or they said, everybody's wrong. That's impossible. Not everyone can be wrong. So there must be something wrong with your premise. And a lot of people can't get there. They can't even get to the point of questioning their own premise.
Well, here's the thing. I'm gonna hit you with the curveball. Okay. The whole point of spirituality, of reaching the divine, is about surrendering the ego. To claim that you identify with whatever religion, whatever practices or teaching, is basically you're amplifying your ego to say that I am this, but in all actuality you are nothing. And that goes back to what Oogie Boogie was saying, that we are nothing. And to realize that we are nothing is to say that, hey, I don't have to have, I don't need to wear a bracelet, or I don't need to do this. I don't need to have all these little tokens on me, these little totems on me to prove that this is my identity. Who I am and my beliefs are within me. It's in my blood. It's within my heart, right? And that is the ultimate servitude that you can give to a higher power. This is the reason why I say that. Me growing up in the Hindu household, a lot of people did prayers. They'd offer fruits or whatever to do their prayers as gratitude. Give money or whatever. A lot of religions give money and all that stuff. My thing is that isn't it kind of fucking stupid to go to God to say I want these material objects in this lifetime, when the whole point is to let go of materialism altogether? You get what I'm saying? Isn't it kind of fucking stupid? And
yeah, there's no point in storing that stuff up. Yep.
And isn't it kind of
Buddhism
fucking
teaches
stupid?
that.
Yeah, hold on. But isn't it kind of fucking stupid to go to someone and say, hey, I'm gonna serve you up this water, I'm gonna serve you up whatever. In return, I expect something, which is wrong, because we're just forever students, forever learning. You get what I'm saying?
Oh,
so in order to have this exchange is wrong, because that's egotistical in itself.
Well,
you're bound by materialism. The whole point is to let go.
Let me hit you with something that most people freak out when I say it. A lot of people go to church and go to the religion in particular because they don't want to go to hell. And literally, that's their excuse. I don't want to go to hell. I met this one guy who was a deacon, and he said, well, you might as well believe, because, the alternative is you going to hell. And I said, so wait a minute. I said, stop. I said, wait a minute. You're trying to fool God? So you're just going to believe so you don't go to hell. So that's your reason. So you have a selfish reason for being in church, right? Not because you want to, help mankind, or you want to grow as a spiritual. You're doing it so you won't go to hell. So, and that's your reason.
Exactly. And that's what Buster says about emotional scales. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think like what Nerdy was saying about the material shit, like the fact that I understood XRP was the gift, right? Mm-hmm. But I believe that's why, you could be physically rich and spiritually bankrupt, right? I already know I've always been rich. I've always been rich, like inside of me, right? So I get the message, but God does use material shit to bless people, right? So I get the message. Amen. I start feeling, I get more in flow. I start ascending. I get on YouTube. I learn how to speak. My problem is I can't articulate everything in my head. I just don't know. Some things I know, like as we just a few minutes ago when Bishop's like, man, I can't believe you. Yeah, because I sort of went up the scale, but I can't articulate everything that I know, right?
That's why I feel, Buster, I can never articulate what this stuff.
But once we get XRP right, I start speaking, right? And we got a crypto channel. People are like, why are they talking about this shit on? Because it's all consciousness. And then God blesses us. And then now we're speaking God stuff, spiritual stuff, the stuff that changes lives to bigger groups. And now we're controlling. Now we can compete with everyone's attention, right? And then shit changes because right now it's starting to change because the media is everywhere.
Yeah.
Right. Let's say we're all billionaires and we're still doing this, and people are like, "Man, these are fire."
What you just said is the truth, though.
Yeah.
What you just said is the truth. God doesn't bless us for us. He didn't bless us for us. He blesses us because we further what he wants us to do. Yeah, exactly. The message along. Messages. So if you can be blessed the other and go dark too, but that's not going to last. It's never going to last.
So your blessings speak your light. And whenever you speak your light, blessings, your light shines brighter. And when your light shines brighter, other people see that light and they see the godliness in you, and they want to be more like that. That's the reason blessings come upon us. That's what we do with them. We use them to shine bright as we can be, so other people say, hey, what's up with this guy? Well, he's so bright because he's got the Lord or whatever. So, that's what you do.
And that's why we witness,
stuff.
right? That's what you're supposed to do after that.
I
You
wanna-
witness. Why did I get this way? I got this way because of this. And you tell them it's because of what you believe in the Lord.
Yeah, I want to go back to what Bishop was talking about. He brought up something really, really, really fire that I think we should explore more about, is how evil itself is intelligent, but they're not spiritual. So all the science and all the discoveries that they fathom leads them to quantum mechanics, which leads them into spirituality, because there's things in quantum mechanics that cannot be explained. Right? So the inevitable ending outcome, no matter what path you take, is realizing that spiritual and a higher awakening is the path to take and will always be the truth. And you can never separate the soul from the body, because the soul is never for you to control. It's always God's to control, because it's his fucking power. It's his fucking energy, right? That's where the evil comes in and tries to hijack and harvest. Go ahead.
Yeah, the evil can't create, right? So
yeah.
That's where I always think of the empath narcissist, right?
Yeah.
Like, love is real. Narc emulates love, right? Drops the love bomb on you, gets the hooks in, then pulls the motor back, and then has that empath chasing like how it used to be, and then you start getting breadcrumb, right? But they're emulating the love frequency. But that frequency, they saw it. They saw that frequency in you, and that's why I learned. But even when you go
give
back
them the
to
keys to touch the conversation, like you can have a conversation and you can make things that's issues that you have or things that bother you, and the narc is like taking notes, man. And then whenever you get a chance, here comes that shit right back at you. So you give them the keys by whining and by speaking out your suffrage, right? You're not supposed to speak out your suffering.
You actually, like the wounded empath wants that validation, right? And that's where everyone has their own currency, because that validation, they know you want their validation, and they purposely don't give it to you, right? And then, and that's where it's all currency at the end of the day.
Well, the people on the other side, their goal is to make you think that you're separated, that you have nothing, because at our core, we constantly want to connect to our spiritual side, to God itself. And their trick is to make you believe that you are alone, that you are not, and because they know that desire is going to kick in, and then they can come in and replace that desire for you. I become the one that you want, not God, not the divine. But even if you look back into the Big Bang Theory, if you believe in the Big Bang Theory, everything started at one core and blew out. That means that everything that is in the universe is from the same thing. It means that every piece, every molecule, everything contains the exact same material, which also could be thought of as God himself. So God is in every single thing. Everything that exists is God, period. But we're taught to believe we're separate. I'm a separate being. And therefore, I can come in and just replace it. I can just give you what you want. I can give you that love. And then I get to control you from that point.
Exactly. And then you what?
Exactly. Then you don't create. Then it's like you don't create.
You stop creating because you depended on me.
You stop creating, and it's everything goes from there. Because even when you're talking about material shit, you can see
everything goes from there.
Like it's all material bullshit, but you can still get fulfillment. Like if you have longer term goals and you're chasing longer term stuff versus the person that just spends their money every week. Like we all have material shit, but their spiritual bank is lower than the person that's accomplishing things, because through the accomplishment and the longer goals, you're fulfilling yourself more, and then. Which is like the first level, because I was doing that, right before we had my first daughter, I just bought a house, never even moved out yet, just went and bought a house. Oh, I'm having a kid, right? And then you start doing longer term shit, and then everyone's bitching, not doing nothing, and then you start saying like, well, what the fuck, But it just starts going, and then I start a business, and then.
And eventually
the business start growing more. And then I get the thing on XRP and I'm like, oh shit,
And you're
then
here,
it's
and
just-
we're talking about this.
You know what this
Yes,
reminds me of?
exactly.
This whole thing that we're talking about is basically the situation that we see in today, which is very funny because everything is within itself. Again, if you get into quantum mechanics, you know what I'm saying. But the way how people act, right? Like for example, you have fake influencers, right? Who do not want to do the work to become wealthy, but they rather take pictures, rent out this jet plane or whatever, and take pictures and do selfies and create all these tutorials of how to become get rich quick schemes. And Andrew Tate, for example, the same bullshit. But they'll never put in the work itself that it took to be that, because they know themselves that they don't have the strength to accomplish that, because they're scared of themselves to go down that path. The path to success is a lot harder than people think, because it's a lot more to do with your mental state and your belief system and your perspective than it actually
And your
does to actually
ego.
doing the work. Because the doing the work is the easy part, but having the right perspective and the tunnel vision of where you're going is the fucking hard part, right? Without
That's
a
right.
plan, 90% planning, 10% work. If you don't got a fucking plan, where are you doing? Where are you going? You have no fucking clue, and that's the problem.
When you become 60 years old, you look back, you say, "Yeah, I fucked that up."
All right, so I just want to share a story about going back to Bishop before he said something about like the hell, right? So I'm one of those people before my spiritual awakening that believes in that. Of course, because I'm Catholic, right? I'm from kindergarten till high school. I was in a Catholic school, so I'm pure Catholic. You know, I'm heavy on that belief before, and I'm not bashing that before because that actually kind of saved me on some of the teachings that was there. Um, like when I have suicidal ideations before, like I said, this is before my spiritual awakening. It actually fearing about going to hell saved me because I wasn't, the reason why I did not do that because of me fearing, right? but but when I had this my spiritual awakening, that's where I realized that I should not be even fearing, right? I should not be in that frequency.
Right.
And that's actually become more, right? That become more clear to me. And that's what I like about that. We have our energies, we have both in our system, like in our like evil, bad, whatever you call it, and positive. Both of us is already exists in ourselves. And not knowing ourselves, that's why I'm so heavy on knowing ourselves, because that's what saved me more, and that's what I have my spiritual awakening. All this spiritual divinational tools that we have right now got, like they tell them like not to use, like for example, tarot cards or like astrology is not, not believable. Sorry about that, my voice too. Yeah, because of that reason, right? Because they don't want you to know yourself. They don't want it to use those tools that you have available to you.
Exactly. And
You
then
know,
you can
and-
get so much information from all those different things that
Right.
that they tell you never look at that. That's bad. That's witchcraft. That's this. But
Exactly.
I've
Yeah,
learned
that's
a
right
lot
there.
of
That's
shit
the
from that.
word. Correct.
Yeah.
But it
Yeah.
depends on
Astrology is
your
a breadcrumb
intention when
for
you use
awakening.
it. You know what I mean? It depends on your
Astrology is a
intention when you
breadcrumb
use
for
those
the
tools.
awakening.
Sorry. Go
Leads down
ahead.
a path. Well, I was saying astrology is a breadcrumb for awakening. So if you even if you
Exactly.
follow astrology, become an astrologist, just knowing about astrology, the breadcrumb to you knowing about other things. So
Yes.
it's breadcrumbs.
Yes, because those are not end all be all. Those are just tools. Those are just spiritual divination tools that you can use to know yourself, to heal yourself, like crystals, right? Not a lot of people know about crystal, even essential oils. So that's why I'm heavy on those. It's not because, oh, it's I'm gonna put that in my shop later on and sell crystals or essential oils, stuff like that, right? So those are, it depends on your intention as well, right?
But even
Using
like
tarot cards can go ahead.
but even when you say spiritual awakening, normally that happens through being like isolated, right? And most people fear to be alone to begin with, right? So they're going about their life to do everything not to be alone. But really, when you go through an awakening, that's when like they need you alone because you can't even see clear because you got a bunch of fucking clowns around you that you know. So, but even that in itself is and then next you know you're like, okay, yeah, I could.
Yeah,
it's not like that.
And a good example of that is Jesus himself. He had to leave.
Yes.
He went into the desert by himself. He didn't ask people to go with him. He knew he had to go by himself.
He had to go on his own.
The Karens would be like, the Karens would be at Starbucks. Yeah, let's go through a spiritual awakening together. Let's do it tomorrow. All four of us. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't work like that.
And you're right, love.
This is my
Buddha also did the same thing.
This is my personal view on totems or any kind of anything that you need to interact with any kind of spiritual element. Okay, this is my personal view. Is that none of it is needed, and all of it is most likely probably witchcraft, and it's all probably all bullshit, right? Because in reality, what it really comes down to is surrendering, right? Is to let go of everything and to just acknowledge what is and just go about it and to just accept your path of what is. Astrology helps. I think astrology and tarot cards and all this stuff were hijacked. I don't think they're actually used for what they're used to before, but I honestly do understand. I don't want to say believe because I do know that astrology itself is being misread. How people are saying, oh, you're this sign, you're that sign, which is actually all bullshit. That it has to do with the time you were born, the place you were born, and the location you were born. And that basically is a guide to you itself. Again, what Bishop said, we're all from the stars. We're all from one source. So it's basically like a guideline. Like you, like for example, you have a character. Each character has power-ups. They have limitations. They have certain things they can and cannot do. That is the same thing with us. There's certain paths. There's certain paths that's meant for me that I have to take, versus there's certain paths for everyone else that they take that's meant for them. Right? For example, marriage was right for Dual. Marriage may probably not right for me, right? Because that was his path. Because he found salvation with his wife or whatever, with love and his kids and whatever.
I didn't.
And made him into a
salvation of marriage. Dude, I can tell you that much.
Whatever, you know, you get what I'm saying, right? Like, you're a fucking beautiful ass person, and the reason why you're a beautiful ass person because all the shit you've been through, and that's what makes you such a fucking like a joy to be around, right? Because you've been through so much pain that being around you is fun because you never want to resonate that piece of your part ever again. And that's what I'm basically getting at is that you have to go through this. Your own fucking road, whatever the path is, you have to go through it because at the end of the path is a brighter future. But within that is God Himself trying to guide you and teach you and mold you. You're just a student and He's the teacher, right? Like you have to comply. You have to acknowledge the classroom rules and go about it.
Yeah, we are a student of life, definitely. And you said guide. I like that because it is a guide. It's not. Like I said, it's not an end all be all, but how can you surrender if you're lost? You need a guide. Exactly. So all that stuff that, like I said, that stuff actually is the path that I kind of took. It doesn't. It's not like I woke up and I just surrender and I just let go. I actually experienced things, right? Just like Uncle Buster said that you have to be alone sometimes so you can spiritual awakening. You have to it's an individual journey, you know. You can you can do collective consciousness later on when you're already more aware about yourself, but knowing yourself first will lead you there. You cannot be just conscious awakening right away later on, you know.
And real quick on what Nerdy said, I think it's all of it. It's because everyone gets there on their own path. So like surrender is part of it. Like you said earlier, lady, healing, man. You watch people. I've watched people that are just fucking codependent as fuck. I've been codependent, but I mean, codependency is alone stopping people from because they don't want to heal, right? But I think healing is a big part of it. Surrendering is a big part of it, and all these things we've talked about is a part of it. But
the one
you gotta have a reset.
I'm hop off.
And so I think that's why I'm down here in Mexico is because I'm like this is a reset for me. So I'm getting myself in the ocean, what's something I don't normally do. Come down here in Mexico, and it's a total. It's a reset for me. So that's the same thing. I take the astrology, and this is what I what I projected, right? And so I want to be here when this thing kicks off, like Monday. Like we're fixing to go, so we're gonna get the switch is gonna flip. We're gonna all be rich. And so this is what I projected, and I want to be doing this kind of thing while that's happening. And
exactly.
I think it's gonna be great, man. Just loving life. Focus on where you want to go, not where you don't want to go.
But yeah, I love talking about this shit. We didn't even talk about really crypto today on the show.
Thanks, Buster.
I'll be listening in my ear.
Let's bring that
but that's
back
why I
for a
love
second. Let's bring it back for a second. Let's not dismiss, as Baggy had it on his show, and I didn't know about it until I heard it on his show, is that let's not dismiss the fact that the CME, Chicago Mercantile Exchange, is the second largest. I think New York Stock Exchange is is the largest, but CME is the oldest. It actually is the oldest. Two of our, and we're going to have an ETF that's introduced on the CME tomorrow, and then Buster was talking about 520, and I mean, usually it takes a day for that to actually kick in. So I think this is a big deal that should not be dismissed. It becomes legitimized.
We're gonna wake up tomorrow morning, guys, and XRP is gonna be down 50%. It's gonna be glorious.
and I don't.
That's actually probably true.
And they're gonna use those futures contracts to just absolutely smoke the price.
That's what
I'm
has
kidding.
to
I'm
happen.
kidding, guys. I'm kidding.
But no, I agree with you. I think that's going to happen. It always happens. It always spikes and then drops. And we're going to see that spike and drop, and then we're going to see as the regulations kick in, more people are going to want to get into it. If XRP gets to a higher number, they won't be able to buy it directly. They're going to have to go through ETFs. And I know some people say ETFs are not important, but I disagree with that. I think it's a part of the formula.
Institutional money, and exactly. I mean, it just opens up the doors to so many more investors that don't have didn't have the foresight or the knowledge to be able to accumulate crypto through the channels we have, but rather they can do it through these ETFs. So I think, it's going to be good.
Most people can't handle custodying their own crypto when they're first getting in. So this is a way for them to be kind of risk off, but make a small percentage. For us, we're Dejan's been in this, crypto world forever. We understand the value of what we own. We're not trying to make just a quick buck. We're trying to make generational wealth. There's a difference,
Yeah, for me, the CME just one step closer to DTCC. Once we get derivatives, we blast off. So the CME is just one more step in that direction.
One more piece of the puzzle. That's it.
It's the liquidity. It's the major liquidity that we need, because all the liquidity is locked up in traditional financing right now, and we're just getting small portions of it in a DeFi now. Now we're able to get trillions of dollars instead of billions of dollars actually coming and inflowing into crypto. So this is the major unlock we've been waiting for, not just with the ETFs, but with the regulations. Look at the stable coins. You got real world assets, using stable coins in a massive amount right now. Like everybody's talking about stable coins, but they're going to have to use some bridge to use. You broke up. Say again.
That ought to bring us $20 XRP.
Well, like you just said, man, I agree with you 100%, because I keep trying to get people to buy cold storage wallets, and they won't do it. It's too confusing for them. But this ETF will be a way for them to do exactly that. Get a little piece of it without having to think about it. They can just go to they'll go to their brokerage and say, "Hey, what about this XRP?" And they'll introduce them to the ETF, because they're going to make money on that. And so it's just going to open the door.
Yeah, we're talking what, $5 trillion that Brad was talking about. I mean, he didn't just say a number for a reason. He mentioned $5 trillion. What is that all coming from? I mean, if we're just talking about ETFs, we've got 23 of them looking to come on and start utilizing the XRP ledger. It's obviously going to be from stable coins, because now we have major players starting to utilize the stablecoin RLUSD. We got exchanges starting to list it, more and more. Like we've had just like 2 in the last 20 days listing RLUSD. So I mean, all that's liquidity that we need to get us to the peg. But my real issue is this asset's been so suppressed for so long. Everybody in this community knows it. I mean, the real value of XRP should be about $17 right now. So once those NDAs are no longer valid, so to speak, we have full unlock for, you know, XRP with no more bullshit. I hate to say it like that. No more bullshit delays with cases and people involved to suppress this asset down. I think that's when we'll start seeing the FOMO happen and actual real money being shown instead of just dark pools.
Into Wall Street. They crashed the boat into Wall Street. I mean, that if that's not the most biggest symbolizing fucking thing that they were here. I mean, what more does it take than a fucking wrecked fucking boat that the Bearable guy's been on for months? Crashes it right into fucking New York. Fucking A.
He was wrong about a few things. 3 days after the death of JB that we were gonna moon, that didn't happen. That prophecy was out the window there.
That prediction crap is crap. Let's be real. All we need is we need regulations. Let's be real. When we see the regulations are going through, we see that this case is finally ending. We see the evidence of these ETFs going into the CME, not just applications. 17 applications. We were all praising 17 applications. It's actually going to be on the second largest exchange of the world tomorrow. That's evidence. That's what we need to look at.
It's not
evidence.
The spot ETF isn't going live tomorrow, though. It's a futures contract, right?
It's true.
But that's the
Also
first step.
true.
And all of the big. I mean, there's futures contracts for all of the major commodities, so and exchanges or indices. So. Yeah, it's a necessary thing. It needs to happen.
It's a necessary thing. That's it, exactly. It's a piece of the puzzle that we need to see.
Logical evolution of this being adopted globally. Yeah.
Correct. It's a good thing. I'm glad to see it's happening. It's slower than I wanted it, but it's happening. It's happening. I mean, that's it.
Dude, we got SOB 121 out of the way. That was the major crush to the markets and for institutional money to get in, that any kind of big players to get in, really. So now that that's gone, now that that legal hurdle, and I did say it was going to be about 30 days after that SOB 21 was going to get out in the public that we were going to start seeing inflows. I don't know how many days it's been, but I think we're damn near pushing about over 30 days since SOB 21 got, moved out of the limelight. So, regulations with stable coins is on the books right now. I mean, obviously it's going to happen. We're starting to see all the players starting to line up right now and start professing that they're going to actually start purchasing crypto. We got the court system saying that they're actually legally able to purchase crypto. So I don't really see much hurdles left. Hopefully it doesn't take a lot longer than some of us are anticipating, but we do hear price before regulations. I'm not seeing any major price before regulations right now. So, I mean, we are about 30 days away from pretty much regulations. So it could happen really anytime, God willing. I'll say, a lot of us here have been here forever, and, it's eventually going to happen, but, being patient sucks. I can say that.
Oh, no doubt. This is going on 11 years for me. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, dude, you're so old. Oh no, did I say that out loud? No, dude, 11 years is ridiculous. I've been around a long time, man. I've been around a long time, and 11 years holding XRP. That's crazy. That's so ridiculous.
Wow, that's amazing.
In September, it will be 11 years for me.
Man, you should have been buying more, man. How come you only have 1,000 XRP, dude? What's up with that?
Dude, I got way more than that. Believe me.
That's a blessing.
Believe
for
me.
Sure. That is a blessing.
That's all you'll need in the future is 1,000 XRP to be.
Well, I got plenty more than that. Trust me.
Dude, yeah,
I'm around the 1%. So
you know how they've tested all these systems, all the systems they've tested. They've run all kinds of glitches against us and all kinds of shit. So, but what they haven't done is tested the drops and how a drop's going to flow. So whenever you get an increase of drop usage, and will that be enough liquidity to keep the flywheel turning, so to speak? So they have to have price before they can test drops. That's the way I see it, and I think that's what this next step is going to be.
Well, it's two drops per It's 2 drops per transaction right now. So you have 500,000 transactions per XRP. So I mean,
drops as a use case. Drops as a use case due to increased price. Like if XRP goes to $100, everybody's going to be using drops, and you wouldn't mind spending money with drops, you know.
Right.
But if XRP is $100, that's what you're going to be using as drops, because it's going to be the test for smaller increment transaction. That's what
I hope happens, that we get to a triple digit so fast that it doesn't give me the opportunity to lock profits between $13 to $25. And at $100, it's going to pull back to a level that I'm uncomfortable with. So I probably wouldn't sell any XRP at that point. Big amounts of it. I would just invest it, stake it, whatever we get to do. So
yeah, the real reality is once it gets to, let's say, $100 or even $1,000, the banks are going to have no supply to buy up. It's only going to be from retail. So they're going to pay us a handsome reward just to actually own our XRP. Essentially, we're separated from the system that people are going to be getting into now. We have an asset that we can use for staking, we can use for lending, we can use for many other things. That's going to be null and void in the future. You're not going to be able to probably do that unless you have XRP or another good utility-based asset that's more than likely American-based. They're going to shut those doors down. They're not going to let people that are new getting into this and be able to lend and borrow their money out. I think that's going to close down. I think we're going to have so much offers of buying and utilizing our XRP that we won't ever want to sell it. I mean, that's my plan in the future.
All right, now we're on this beautiful topic of staking. Now we have to inform the people about the danger. Okay, when you stake, whatever you're staking, okay, there are 2 methods of staking. One in which you surrender. Hold on. Okay. So you have one method of staking, which is a very common method of staking, is where you take your assets, you use a specific wallet, you put your assets on that wallet, and then you take that assets from that wallet, and then you put it into whatever validator's node or whatever, and then you're staking it on that validator. Okay. What happens is that you're transferring your whatever digital asset it is to that validator, and it's no longer in your wallet, it's there, right? That's the fucking problem with all of this stuff. Now, this is where what people should be focusing on is when you can get your wallet and use your wallet to stake on it directly without the funds leaving your wallet. That is true DeFi.
Amen to that.
You're not wrong about anything you're saying, but you are dismissing one thing that you're not thinking about, and that is regulations. Once the regulations come in, they will try to control that, because you better believe there will be some rich people or people who are higher than us, even these banks who want to stake their stuff also. So they're going to wrap it. They're going to wrap it so there will be some protections, just like it is now with money. There will be limited. What is it? 250,000 now. It will be something like that. But there will be different banks that will say, we will guarantee we will give this back, this X amount back to you. So the staking, while you're correct right now, I believe you will be able to stake with some limited protections.
Now, once those come into effect, then the risk is lowered. I know that Jay Claver's company, they insure each of their accounts to $100 million. And he said that they're going to scale that up as the value of their portfolios go up. So
okay, well, here's my counter argument to that is that if you were to go to a different entity, institution, or whatever, and stake your funds there, technically the assets never need to leave your wallet. They really don't.
We could do.
You get what I'm saying?
You're correct.
And if an institution wanted to go down that route, them themselves can create a wallet that is your wallet that you create with them, but you still hold a piece of that pie. sharding.
So are you saying that's like a secured credit card? So like if you put $300 and you can get a credit card and $300 is your limit, but they got your $300.
I'm saying the approach that, for example, Uphold, right? Uphold has the Uphold Vault. Okay. So Uphold tells you is that if you give us your XRP and you deposit your XRP with us in our application, we will give you rewards. And also, if you want to hold your assets, we have a vault that will shard your keys and that you could have, right, as a background. Now, these again are what Bishop brought up, institutional grade features or options that people can take. But again, in that same manner, when you're doing stuff with Uphold, you don't hold the keys. Because then you go into a situation that Buster faced. When Buster faced is the same situation that I faced, is that Uphold can change your fucking address. So then again, everything is all hocus pocus, right?
Then again, that's without regulation.
There is no actual trust.
Wait a minute. They can change your address.
Does Uphold give you the new address?
They have been doing that, by the way. They have been changing people's addresses. But that's because we have no rules saying you can't do that.
Exactly.
And believe you me, if someone high up, and I'm saying high up, I'm saying government officials, they'll get tired of that and they'll change that rule and start suing people, and they will make rules that you can't change addresses.
Does Uphold give you the new address? Like, do they give you access to your money?
Uphold will just change your shit. If you can, one day you'll have one receiving address. You go back and it's a different receiving address. It's the same memo, but it's a different.
So you still have your money.
You still have your money, but
if you send it to that address and you saved it,
Lizard, if you, for example, if for like crypto.com or other Apple applications like that, you have this feature where you have to whitelist your address in order to send or receive funds, right? For example, sending funds to receive it into that wallet. If you have a whitelisted address that you're confident that is your whitelisted address and you've been using it on a daily, and all of a sudden you decide that you're going to send it to that same address that you've been using, but Uphold already switched that address, and now you just sent your money to what you thought that you're familiar with is now a foreign address to you, and now you have to go contact Uphold to try to get your funds back. But who is to them to say that they're going to take responsibility and give your funds back?
Right, you got to open up a ticket. Tickets take a while.
Why deal with any of that situation when you have a fucking cold wallet? That's the whole point of this.
Now, is that only when you're using the wallet that they're providing for you that they change your address? Like if you just have it on the exchange, let's say.
If you sign up with your email, like you sign up with the email, you KYC, you go to their registration. Uphold does not, or for any central exchange for that matter, no one gives you your private seed phrase. Nobody. Absolutely nobody. Coinbase, crypto.com, Uphold, Kraken, MoonPay, none of them. None of them.
I'm talking about the R address. You said they changed your R address.
Listen, this is what I'm getting at. Your address is tied to your private seed phrase. By changing your address, how do you know they're not activating a different address on the same seed phrase? But it's a different address. It's now account number 2.
Right.
Versus,
so you're saying
sending it to account number 1. So how is that not fucking slimy as shit?
They mirrored the account and gave it a different, and now they can take your shit
without informing you, writing you an email, letting you know, or any of that shit. So why would you trust any of that shit when you could just hold it on a cold wallet and just be safe and call it a day?
Well, you're gonna have to sell some. You were gonna want to sell some at some point. So I have a few exchanges.
Caleb and Brown and all these places, they don't make any fucking sense. They literally don't make any fucking sense. When you can just open up your own shit and just have it, and you can have your crypto on this wallet, but then open up an entity, whether a corporation or whatever, and say, now my entity holds my wallet, but you are still holding your wallet. You are still in charge of your seed phrase, right? But now on a tax event, in the tax event cycle, it's seeing that your institution, LLC, corporation, or whatever, has those gains. So it was based off of those gains taxes rather than basis of you as an individual gains taxes, because they're two different tax brackets.
Yup, good call, Nerdy.
Yeah,
that was
Nerdy, it's so true.
point.
Nerdy is definitely on point here, no doubt about that. The problem comes in is that I'm sorry, but the problem that comes in is that people have problems trying to understand the cold wallets, and that's the the plug that could be done for channels like ours, trying to teach people how to use them, because not everybody's going to want to do that. They're just going to trust the banks to get this done for them. Go ahead, Bill.
That's why we have so many ETFs.
I want to say something, but I'm also responding to Jeffrey in the chat. So I'll just do it online and then I'll say what I was going to say. Jeffrey, that would literally be the only reason my wife would leave me, is if my friend turned me off. So yeah. Anyway, I think what Nerdy was saying was so true, and it's going to be very difficult for me to relinquish control.
Has she always been so close-minded?
Yeah, exactly right. So, it's gonna be hard for me to relinquish control, but I will say this, and that you don't want a single point of failure, and I think Nerdy will agree with me when I say, so spread things out, and if regulations come in, I agree with XR P Bishop that we should have safer, well-regulated options for us to have others control, basically house our crypto for us. And I think that provides a little layer of insulation if you're concerned about possibly being targeted and robbed. If you have control over all your crypto, and you have the private keys and it's in your house, and somebody breaks in and they hold you at gunpoint and they wipe you completely out, having a little bit maybe with the banks where they can't necessarily get to it easily might not be a bad idea. So just spread things out, but wait for regulations and stuff. Don't be giving up your keys too early is what I would say. So good luck, everybody.
Yeah.
Good luck, motherfuckers.
Good luck. Yeah, I like that. Good luck.
Watch out, glitches.
Fucking Hunger Games. Good fucking luck,
May
motherfucker.
the odds be ever in your favor. I'm gonna jump out, guys. Thanks for having. It's been a great one. I do want to
See you,
throw out,
Steph.
we do have the Blue Gub, the Bluminati and Ooga NFT collection that's going to be launched tomorrow, and it will get you a lot of cool perks in real live events. It's going to give you super access to in real live events, and an airdrop daily of Bluminati and Ooga into your wallet without having to do anything every day. And that was my soft shill for the day, but I will see you guys around. Thanks for having me. Later, glitches.
Later, Chef.
Peace.
Now, I'm gonna go back to this DeFi stuff because it's very important, because not a lot of people talk about it. And we're just on the subject, so I might as well. This is the problem with the DeFi bros, is that there's a lot of people on X and stuff that are pushing this whole DeFi narrative, but at the same time, no one is bringing up these cautions or these precautions that you should take.
Right.
About all of this stuff. Everyone just saying, hey, earn yield, earn yield, earn yield. But no one is telling you who's responsible. There is no insurance in crypto right now. There's no regulations. There's nothing. It's a wild, wild west. That's why Hawk Tubo Girl got away with scamming people out of $2 million with fees, right? Because there's no nothing. So how would you trust an institution that pulled the same crap on you when they can just say, hey, show me the rules? What are you gonna say then? That's my problem with all of this stuff, is that there's a lot of people who are promoting this narrative that we're moving into this quantum crypto blah 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 bullshit, whatever the fucking narrative they're putting out, but no one wants to address these fucking problems. Is that there's no insurance for anything. There's no FDIC. There's nothing of anything, and even FDIC can't even be trusted because they can't even insure everybody. So at the end of the day, what is your only smart choice to do? Click the link, buy a fucking decent wallet, and hold your funds and be smart. Because if you're not going to do that, then you're a fucking idiot. And this is why I know people have problems with Coinbase and getting hacked with Coinbase, or people getting hacked with another central place. It's because it comes down to that. Is that why the hell would you put your money, your digital assets, your funds in the responsibility of someone else to a stranger, which you wouldn't do that in real life? But you're doing it on a digital basis.
They do it every day,
of a trusted institution. Fuck you. That's stupid. That's the stupidest thing you've ever done.
They do it every day with banks. Every last one of us probably has a bank account that our checks go to.
Yeah,
we do it all the time. Now, with that said, I agree with you 100%. I am never going to give up I'm going to keep my cold wallets. They're going to deprive from my dead hand. Flat out. Even if they put me in jail, I will just move to another country when I get out of jail. So I agree with you 100%. Yeah. But there are people who just don't think like this. They don't want to think like this. They want to be easy. They want that one button. They just want to go in, have the bank tell them what to do, and then they just do it. There will always be people like that.
Yeah. People won't just tell you to invest for them and do all the work for you. or for them and them collect the gains. That's the reality of the average consumer that wants to make money in crypto. They're not willing to wait. They're not willing to be patient. They're not willing to do the research. They get wrecked all the time because it's a lack of knowledge. That's really 90% of people that get wrecked in crypto. It's this lack of knowledge. You know, I brought the DeFi up for a reason. I personally don't have any money in DeFi. I personally don't want to take the risk this late in the game to lock my money up on an exchange like another FTX. We know that's going to happen again. We know after these regulations that things are going to start falling apart slightly and restructuring to where it's going to be controlled. So that being said, you want to have the best exit plan that you can, obviously, to make money in this crypto space. And you do want to have a little bit of money set on the side, ready to load on exchanges. But don't keep all your money in DeFi just to make. I was doing the math today. If I put all my crypto in DeFi right now and I got the good percentage, I'd make like $4,000 if I left it in there for the whole entire year. $4,000 to me is not worth losing a lot of money in this bull run here.
Yeah,
something
100%.
happens,
Yeah.
one of these exchanges gets locked up for whatever reason, they get hacked or whatever. You know something's going down going down the line. So somebody hears my voice that has all their money locked up in an exchange, staking it. Don't do that. Get some of that money out of there. At least have 20 or 30% sit in a cold storage where if you do get wrecked, you got 20 or 30% of your crypto. If you're putting 100% staking in crypto, you are a ballsy guy, girl, whatever, and more than likely, you might end up getting wrecked. So, me personally, it isn't worth it. Not this late in the game. We're about ready to all make generational wealth.
I think when it comes to staking, don't be first, don't be last rule applies. We're so early, we don't really know how this is going to go down. So just chill. You don't got to be staking. Don't get FOMO over 5% and just hold until all this is all cleared up, and then we'll be able to stake and know the rules of the road, right? But now it's like really don't know.
Yeah, I'm not advising against anything. Like I have Crow on the crypto.com wallet, and I have assets on different and other various wallets. Not that I don't, but at the same time, it's like I'm not pulling my full bag on. There's just a little bit that I'm earning on, and if it goes, it goes. If it disappears, if I get fucked over, I get fucked over. Who cares? But you have to have that understanding in that risk assessment before going through it, and then be surprised, like, oh, what happened? Like,
it's like putting money on black. You can always up the bet.
You have to acknowledge whatever you're doing, it's all risk. All of this stuff is risky, but higher risk, more reward. But at the same time, it's like a lot of people aren't informing other people, and then when those people that they're guiding and showing to do all this stuff, they get screwed over because then they're not knowledgeable about any of this, and they go back and try to question those people, and they end up getting blocked, or they talk shit about them or whatever, and saying, oh, you should have probably join my club, you'll find out more, and blah blah blah, and all this other bullshit. But at the end of the day, it's like if you're going to talk about something, you have the utmost responsibility to inform every single person. That is the highest risk thing that you can do right now with your funds. But to prevent risk, to understand that there are options like cold staking, where you can actually stake and earn rewards with the assets never leaving your wallet, and that's the most safest route that you can ever take. And other routes, whether you're going to earn a higher yield, I've seen yields up to 2,000%. I mean, it's fucking stupid. But at the same time, it's the risk that you're taking, right? Like 300% yields, 200% yields. These are high yields. But at the same time, you're risking your whole bag on a MetaMask wallet on Binance chain with this random ass site.
That sounds like a nightmare. That sounds like
you know what I'm saying?
Hackers waiting to take your shit.
Yeah.
I want to remind everybody real quick, because people get complacent. We're going to want to cash out some money on these exchanges. So you better have more than one or two exchanges, because they all go down once we have major pulls of money out of there. You better be on there once a month minimum, and going on there and playing around with your account, signing in, because they're going to KYC your ass. And then they're going to lock your account, and then you can't get in there to sell anything. Watch,
you always bring up exchanges, but you don't even need that. You can use your Decent wallet, flip it over into US.
RLUSD.
Well, I'm talking to the normie here that is going to send it to their bank account, okay? To put the money in their bank account.
We can take
They're not switching to stable coins yet, you know. But I agree with you, Bishop. That would be a better plan. But for those that are actually taking money out to buy things that they've
I'm
been
not saying
waiting
you
on
can't buy
forever.
things. I'm saying freeze it, and then when things calm down, to go ahead and cash it out. But just don't run in and start cashing stuff out like crazy because of some weird news or something. But just take your time, relax, and think.
You can flip your profits into RLUSD on your cold storage. I mean, you can flip
exactly. That's my point.
You can
Banks
flip
has got a card
if you
now.
keep a little bag on Uphold to play or make bets, you can flip that into RLUSD and then send that to the bank. But there's no reason to send it to the bank if you're just taking profits. Just take your profits. It's not time to fucking get the money yet. Let's chill out. Take the profits as we go, and then whenever we get regulations, then we bring that money into the bank account, and the Wells Fargo and Bank of America can get their bite up.
Just relax, calm down, and don't panic. That's the name of the game. Never panic. No one ever makes money panicking. No one ever makes money panicking.
But you know what, Bishop? You know what I think about all this stuff, brother, is that if you really think about it, if we're gonna change an asset that's gonna appreciate over time for something that doesn't, it's really fucking stupid. Unless you take gains when you can and then buy back in.
That's it.
To get more. That makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if we understand the value of these assets and we're gonna be out here trying to take, $20, so I'm gonna lick my fucking ice. Like if you do that stuff, there's nothing wrong with it at all. But what I'm saying is that entry will never be there. But at the same time, the counter argument to my own argument is basically is if we go, you have to have counter arguments to an argument, right? But if you don't, like, if we go to like a $13 and then you sold at $13 and it drops down to $6, like that was a smart fucking move. But at the same time, if it goes to $13 and then you sold and it goes to $20, well, that was retarded. You get what I'm saying? So
but that's part of the game, isn't it?
Part of the
game. That's. You can't kick yourself in the ass for what you did, what you thought. If you were informed and you weren't panicking and you made an informed, intelligent decision, you can't beat yourself up for that.
But check this out. Here's a counter argument to that counter argument to that counter argument, which is, just don't fucking sell. Right? Just fucking earn yield. Just don't quit your day job. Have your day job. Maybe start a small business or whatever. Have some income and just keep collecting. Because if you're going to sell at this moment in time, when we're so early in the stage, rather than 5, 10, 20 years down the road, what makes more sense? You rather just keep it now while you're early Uber, right? You're early Netflix right now, and then wait until that super pump comes, and then if whatever you decide to do over there, it doesn't really matter at that point in time because you're already so much in profit that who the fuck cares. But at the same time, selling really, really early when you know the institution hasn't even reached maturity or hasn't even been fully adopted or there's no regulation or nothing, we haven't even seen a utility run. I think that's really stupid.
Yeah, it's not time to sell for sure.
Yeah, that's my whole spiel about this is that it makes sense to sell to make money because you might need it, because I had a lot of XRP and I had to sell over the time because of life things, right? And I'm really low right now compared to what I had, but that doesn't mean that I can't. But that doesn't mean like the precious metals or whatever that I bought during the beginning of all this stuff didn't appreciate in value. So it's not like, even though I had to sell some of my stuff, I'm still good. I'm not bad at all. But at the same time, it's like I understand, had I kept that, I'll probably be more up than what I am today. But then that comes to the realization of, hey, just shut up and just hold it. Don't quit your day job. Keep collecting it.
Amen. Yeah.
And then when you're at a reasonable adoption, utility, safety price, that you actually have that insurance. Because this is the other part, is that you're gonna go, Crypto Nav always brings up the centralized exchange for off ramps. I think someone else said in the comments about it's all about off ramps. Is that this, like, if you look at Uphold, Coinbase, whatever, you're taking your XRP and you're depositing into their account right? And then you're exchanging that XRP for RLUSD or USDC, whatever. But the fee that is being charged is also an XRP, so you're losing double, right? One is that you're losing on the conversion from turning XRP into a stable, and then two, you're losing on the conversion that you're not even getting the full amount of XRP to your stable. There's a percentage that's being taken off, being licked off the ice cream already. What it is, it's kind of like a double loss within that situation. So it makes no sense, right? That's what I'm trying to get at, is that like if crypto is supposed to solve these problems, and if we understand the system, then it makes more sense to be a liquidity provider to stake on stuff. Go back to the DeFi stuff. Only when adoption has occurred and regulations are in place. But in the meantime, it makes sense to just keep stacking, waiting till a regulation pump comes. And then when that pump comes, you want to lick after that, it's fine. But at the same time, why would you sell all of it when you can just earn a yield off of it and then just take a loan off of it and then use that line of credit against your XRP?
That's the whole Jake Claver
you get what I'm saying?
model, dude. That's
Well, I agree
what
100%. Yeah, I agree 100%. But a lot of this double dipping, like you're saying, we're losing is because when these exchanges are basically taking fees like that, is because we don't have any regulations. Eventually, when we have regulations and we know how we can move, then we can start making these intelligent motions. But it's selling your stuff right now with no regulations, you definitely you're losing money by selling.
Yeah, I agree with what you said, Nerdy, and I agree with you, Bishop. I was mainly talking about the new people that are just hearing our voice for the first few times, got their money on exchanges, don't even know a damn thing about a decentralized wallet or even how to navigate it. You can get a decent wallet. Wonderful. Move your crypto to there. Then learn actually how to operate on the decent wallet. Do these swaps. It's going to take people time to actually learn that stuff. But a lot of people don't. They just put it on the cold storage wallet and they don't do anything else. Then when it comes time to actually move it into a stable coin, they don't know what the hell they're doing. So people hearing our voices need to get on that. If you already have that set up, learn a little bit about how to move your crypto to a stable coin. Learn how to swap in between the device that you have. There's several that you can do it from. So yeah, it's a better way of saving fees.
I would argue against that and say, before you do any of that, to understand the infrastructure, to understand the architecture, and to understand how everything works and why it works the way it works, and what is your risk assessment within that system. If you do not understand how any of this works, and you're just watching YouTube videos and just watching people talk about all this stuff, but you yourself are not informed or have knowledge about what the hell you're doing, if something goes wrong, you're going to point fingers. But in all reality, crypto is about self-sovereignty. So whatever you do is on you. You get what I'm saying? But it's a knowledge barrier. What's up, Rome?
What it do, Nerdy?
Hey, my bad. I called you one day and fucking brain farted on your ass, bro.
Hey, that's all right though, cause I thought about it and I need to give you some notes.
Okay. So
this is okay.
Rome, this is the same situation I had with Bishop at the moon party. I fucking brain farted on Bishop, and he was like, wait, you're fucking onto something, motherfucker. Come back. And then that's just how it goes. But Bishop, I have actually thought about way more stuff that I actually wanted to talk to you about. Maybe after the show we can explore. But I've actually came to a conclusion because I've been talking to an OG, and I think I found something that us three can probably build and benefit from.
Hey, I'm down.
Yeah, I think I found something that no one sees, and then we'll be good on that part. But
NDAs, man, get yourself some NDAs together.
Yeah, we definitely have to go down that. But how you doing, Rome? How's everything going?
Rome, man, good, man. Everything is blessed. Everything is up. You know what I mean? So
yep.
We're just waiting on these numbers to go up. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
But shit, what's up to everybody on the panel? You know what I'm saying? Bagman, Duel, Uncle Buster. You know what I'm saying? Crypto Navigator, good to see you. You back in the States?
Yeah, man. Back for a little while. I'm going back to the Philippines though. It's too nice there.
Oh, okay. All right. What's
that?
Who's that? Rotisserie?
Rotisserie. What's up, brother? How you doing?
I got the Starlink Mini right here, ladies and gentlemen. I just bought it. It is $2.99 now, everybody. So for those in another country, don't leave home without this. It used to be $500 now.
Spend some money and upgrade your microphone, dude. It's super crackly today. Like it's driving me crazy.
Actually, I could not get my DJI mic to work. It's for whatever reason it's connecting to the earbuds. I can't do the earbuds on my DJI mic for whatever reason today.
Hey, if you're staying primarily in Philippines, you might want to get your Starlink switched over to the Philippines. That way you can the bill's way cheaper.
Yeah, I didn't hook it up yet. I gotta have a direct line of sight here. I'm in a condo, so I'm probably just gonna wait till I get back to set it up. Actually,
While you're here, pick up a signal amplifier. It'll probably help you out a bunch.
You can use your Descent wallet and get your Descent wallet from the link listed below.
No, but seriously, if you were to get an signal amplifier, and if you have shitty signal because of whatever, it might help you.
Oh, I gotcha. Well,
yeah.
Connection-wise, right now, audio, I'm just using my cell phone, and
Because I know Starlink is really sensitive. If anything is in the way, it has to have a clear view of the sky in order to work to max efficiency. So an amplifier would probably help you with that. That's why I brought it up.
Also, supposedly you can only use it for up to 2 months if you have like a US based one and you go out of country, or else you have to upgrade, I think, to like global roaming or some shit.
That's what I'm getting, the roaming. Yeah, it's $50 a month for 50 gigabytes, or 128 for unlimited. Start with the $50 plan, so I don't have to spend too much money. But yeah, definitely gonna have that when I go back to the Philippines. So make sure I'm well plugged in.
Can't miss this show, buddy.
That's right. I missed it for months not having internet. That was really bad. It was no fun. I missed everybody. Missed all the news, all the excitement, all the woes, all the intelligence in this community. So many people here have just such great information to share. Such a good collective of people. I mean, it's like therapy for everybody.
Actually, living with all that is actually the goal. We need to live without all that. Correct. So you did great.
Hey, Nerdy, I'll catch you on X, man. I'll hit you up on X and we can talk.
All right, sounds good. Have a good one.
All right,
bro.
I'm out. All of y'all have a good one. Thanks for the
Later,
Bishop.
Let me
Good
in.
to see you,
Thanks.
Bishop.
Good to see you too. And Dual, stay dual, man. Stay dual.
Amen, dude. Amen.
Later, Bishop.
So Buster had to take off a little early today. I know he's got other obligations and stuff. It's nice to see everybody here in the panel. We had a full panel today. I didn't mean to get in a little late. Unfortunately, there was a couple things I had to do today. But yeah, we got some new faces I see showing up here and there. I like that. Like seeing new people showing up on the panel here and there. Shows we're growing as a community. I think we got 160 strong watching pretty much the whole time.
Yeah,
dude, you missed it because you weren't in Austin, but Rotisserie Bear gives a really good back massage, dude. Like, if you think the one I gave you in the hotel in Vegas was good, dude, you need to get this guy's hands on you. He's pretty amazing. Yeah.
Fuck yeah. I actually think we should call it. Already like 45 minutes over.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Do it.
All right.
Do it.
Roll the credits.
Thank you guys for watching. It was an amazing ass show. It was freaking dope. And we learned a lot. And with that, later glitches.
See ya.